everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my February wrap up and my March TBR. So in February, I only have 3 books to wrap up. So I decided to throw in my March TBR as well since I can get a little bit more content. The first book that I want to talk about that I read in March was What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This was our Muggle Studies book club pick for February, and we did already have our live show, which I will leave linked down below for this and for the Dream Thieves. But I adored this book. I flew through it. I read it in 24 hours. It was so good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Yes, I had some problems with it. Yes, there were some flaws, which if you want to know more about like the spoilery problems that I had, definitely go watch our live show. But basically, in this book, we're following 2 characters. We're following Arthur, who is in New York for the summer, and we're following Ben, who is trying to get over a breakup. And one day, Arthur and Ben meet at the post office, and they kind of hit it off a little bit, and then they end up going their separate ways, and then they meet up again, and they end up having really terrible first and second and third dates, and it's really funny, and it's about summer romance, and it's really, really cute. So one of my problems with this book was that it felt a little bit insta-love, but I already knew that going in because when you read the synopsis, you know that it is a summer romance. In the first little synopsis here, it says, from Arthur, it says, "I believe in love at first sight. Fate, the universe, all of it." So you already know it's gonna be kind of cheesy, very fluffy, heartwarming, and a little bit of an insta-love book. So I was okay with that. One of the things that Hannah and I talked about that we had a little bit of an issue with is that the age didn't really seem to match up with the characters. So there were some parts of the books where the characters were acting like 16-year-old kids and 16-year-old boys. And then there were other times when I thought I was maybe reading a book about a character who was maybe in college in their early 20s, maybe like 18 or 19 years old. So we had a little bit of an issue with that. There are so many great Harry Potter quotes and scenes in this. Like, one of the main characters is obsessed with Harry Potter, and it's so fantastic. There is a lot of like modern culture spread out throughout this book. So there's a lot of references to Hamilton, like I said, Harry Potter, The Sims, just a lot of great stuff. All in all, I really did enjoy it. It reads so quickly. Like I said, I read this in 24 hours. It was just so good and just so fluffy. I loved the characters. There were 2 characters to me, Arthur's friends, who were just really annoying and I didn't really like. But then Ben's friends, Dylan, was so great. And the parents were a lot more involved in this book, which I appreciate because I feel like we don't get a lot of young adult contemporary books where the parents are there, which they should be because these kids are 16. They need to have like some sort of parental figure or guardian because they are not legally an adult yet. So yes, all in all, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. If you like young adult contemporary, then I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Like, if you loved Leon the Offbeat, if you loved Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, then even like Fangirl. If you liked Fangirl, I think that you would kind of like this as well. The next book that I read was The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the second book in the Raven Cycle Quartet. So when I first read this, like once I finished it, I was thinking about giving it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. But after discussing it with Hannah and really kind of like dissecting the book, I think I'm going to drop it to a 4 out of 5 stars just because there were a lot of points in this book that I didn't enjoy as much as I did The Raven Boys. So we kind of think that this book was a little bit like of a filler book, a little bit, just because all of the plot, like a lot of the plot that was going on in the Raven Boys was kind of put on pause to really expand Ronan's story, which I think is great, but I feel like we should have expanded on some of the other story as well. And who knows, it might end up, I know it's going to end up coming all together. I can't remember exactly how, but I do remember Blue Lily Lily Blue being like a really good book where things kind of start to come together. So I'm excited about that. I listened to this on audiobook, and honestly the audiobooks are just, they're terrible. They're so bad. That narrator's voice is so annoying. The characters' voices are so annoying. Like Ronan's voice is just so raspy. It's not good. Blue Lily Lily Blue, I will physically read it. I feel like I am going to enjoy it a lot more. So the last book I want to talk about that I read in February is the book exchange that I gave Hannah. So I don't have it because I did send it to her, and that is I Darken by Kiersten White. So I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I just felt like it was really slow. I felt like not a lot happened. It was very character driven, so Hannah might really enjoy it versus me. I am a character driven reader, but I also, to me, the plot is also very important, and there wasn't a lot of action scenes. There was like one good action scene throughout the entire book, and it was like a 475 page book. So quite chunky, and having only like 1 or 2 intense action scenes for a fantasy book, not good in my opinion. Also, some of the build-up was really anticlimactic, and it just fell really, really flat. I had trouble connecting to the characters. I will say this though, the politics were really good. It reminded me of like a Sarah J. Maas book with her Throne of Glass and her A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. It's very political and war and strategy in those books, and you definitely see that in this book. So I did enjoy that. I thought it was really good. I also did enjoy some of the character development. There were some points in the book, I will say, there were some points in the book where I was like, yes, I am living for this. I absolutely love this. Then there were some parts where I was like so distraught about love triangle. Overall, I thought it was like a good book, a solid start to a series, a lot of world building. So I won't be continuing on with the series, but some people may really enjoy it, and hopefully Hannah does. And now let's jump into my TBR. So for February, I gave myself too heavy of a TBR, and I didn't really fulfill it. So even though I read a lot of chunkier books in February, so I'm still quite pleased with my reading, but I'm gonna give myself just kind of, I've got chunky books for March as well, so I'm just gonna be easy on myself and just, yeah. So the first book that I definitely have to read is Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the 3rd book in the Raven Cycle Quartet. I'm so excited because I do remember really, really enjoying this one, so I'm excited to get to it. And then we have our Muggle Studies book club pick for March, and that is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I'm really, really, really excited to read this one. I've heard really good things about it. It has great reviews on Goodreads, and it's like based in space, so I'm really excited. Basically, we follow our main character, I think, is it Spensa, and ever since she was little, she wanted to be a pilot, but apparently her father was a traitor to like their country or their territory, so now she is having trouble getting accepted to flight school because of like who her father was, and that's kind of all I know about it, so I'm assuming a lot's going to happen. It's very chunky, and I'm really, really excited. And the last book that I really want to get to in March is my book exchange that Hannah gave me, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I hope I pronounced that right, but I'm so excited to read this book. This book is gorgeous. so freaking gorgeous. Like, look at this cover. Look at that. But just wait. Wait a minute. Inside, beautiful. And then look at the hardback. Oh, without the dust jacket. The spine, I have it upside down? I do. But just, this is the most beautiful book. It's gorgeous. It's so pretty. And then the inside pages are, it came with a little map, but maps, yep, it's so beautiful. Not to mention, Hannah got me a signed copy. Yes, she did. So I feel so spoiled. Thank you so much, Hannah. Hannah annotated, I don't know if you can tell, but she's got some sections where she's highlighted and she wrote in the margins and stuff. So I'm really excited to read this book. So from what I understand, in this book, we follow our main character. I think is it Zelly or Zaylee? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but she lives in a world where there is magic, but then under the orders of a ruthless king, all of the magi are targeted and killed. So now it's up to Zelly or Zaylee to bring back magic to like the kingdom. And I'm getting Throne of Glass vibes here. So I'm really excited. That is it for my February wrap up and my March TBR. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below and let me know some of the books that you read in February and some of the books that you want to read in March. And I will see you next time in another video. Bye!